they will say that they did not have enough time to prepare. All I can say is that you did not qualify at the end of the day. The good news is that Argentina too also didn't qualify, and they've gone for all World Cups. I mean, it's the first time since 1982 that
No.
they have not gone for the World Cup. I don't think
Wow.
Miriam was born in 1982. Miriam, were you born the last time Argentina didn't go to World Cup? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So Miriam has seen a new thing in her lifetime. So that's the only good news. But we'll be talking about other stories: Chelsea, Arsenal, PSG, on the locker room. Zibby, tell us how we can be part of the show.
All right, you can actually let us know what your thoughts are. The WhatsApp number is 0809 4440981. You can also catch the live stream on YouTube. Hey, YouTube. Just search for Smooth 981 on YouTube. And I'm trying to see if I can get Tega to not open the phone lines, but just in case I'm unsuccessful and she opens the phone lines, the number to call is 0144489981.
All right. So let's start with the first story.
Bosso hails impressive Flying Eagles win against Mozambique. Cameron Norrie wins fifth ATP title with thrilling victory over Carlos Alcaraz. La Liga leaders Barcelona suffer shock defeat by Almeria. Winning mentality back, Man United keeper De Gea. And Chelsea coach Porter calls for patience after a fresh defeat. Porter out. PSG romp to win over Marseille thanks to Mbappe Messi double act. Chelsea boss Emma Hayes hails best in the business striker after goal in 100th game. And Inter title hopes fade away with more misery in Bologna.
Yes. So those are the stories. If you're a Chelsea fan, well, you might as well start supporting the women's team. At least they are winning. All right, let's go.
Flying Eagles head coach Ladan Bosso praised his players for executing their plans in the win against Mozambique on Saturday night. He said, "We worked for it. We've seen them play about 2 matches in Cairo."
Yes, I think like I said on Friday, it was always going to be the Flying Eagles being favorites in that one against Mozambique. The Mozambicans don't have any pedigree, especially even when it comes to this level of football. So the Nigerians, who I think are seven-time champions, had everything going for them going into this one, and they did score two impressive goals. Could have been more if they were a bit clinical, but the win was enough to take them through to the next round. Now they face Congo in the next round. Here's what's interesting about Congo. Here's how Congo finished at the top of their group. So they won one match and they drew two. But they were tied with Uganda on points and everything. So they drew straws.
What?
But that's how they do it. So they were tied on everything else. So they drew straws. And they drew straws and Congo won the straw drawing. That's how they got to
Is
the
this a
top.
playground?
No, that's how it. No, that's how it. Oh, that's how it comes down to. They can draw straws or toss a coin.
Wow.
Yes, even at the World Cup level. So calm down. It's not like it's an African invention.
Okay.
But yeah, they drew straws and now Congo, and that made Congo finish at the top of their group. So Nigeria plays Congo, which should be, I mean, considering the fact that if you watch both teams, Nigeria has even performed better even at this tournament. I won't say it's a walkover, but it should be a good one for the Nigerians, and they should be able to win this and push further in their qualification for the Under 20 World Cup. But let's see how it works out for them. Yeah.
All right, British number one Cameron Norrie beat top seed Carlos Alcaraz in a thrilling Rio Open final to claim his fifth ATP singles title yesterday. Now, the 27-year-old came from a set down to beat the Spaniard 4-6, 6-4, 7-5.
Yeah, huge one for Cam Norrie. So just a week ago, they both faced squared up in the final. And Alcaraz was the one that came out top there. In this final yesterday, Alcaraz was doing pretty good until he picked up that leg injury. Now, if you remember, it was a leg. So Alcaraz had an injury last season, took him out for the rest of the season, and then he looked like he was coming back in Australia. He looked like he was prepared, went for a tournament. Then he picked up a leg injury just before the Australia Open and had to withdraw. It seems it is that leg injury again that's bothering him because in the semi-final where he also went 3 sets, he had called the physio about the leg, the right leg. And then in the final, they think him up again. In fact, 1 point through the final, he was limping. I would say this though, I don't want to take anything from Cam Norrie. Cam Norrie is a functional tennis player. It's not pretty, it's not skillful. he just does the job. Give me the ball, I send it back to you. It's very functional, very bland, strips down to the very barest minimum. But what he has is a staying power. So he will stay in a rally, stay in a set, stay in a tennis match for as long as possible. And that's what he did until Alcaraz, partly due to the injury, partly due to his trying to finish a match so that his body doesn't suffer much, made some of the errors, and Cam Nori was able to take advantage of that. But the good news for Cam Nori is that he's gotten his revenge. For Carlos Alcaraz, though, this injury, this is the guy that would bring back the viewership in tennis. Wow. He's amazing to watch. He has athleticism, he has skill, he has charm, he has the attitude, he has the following. He is perfect to watch. His tennis is beautiful. But these injuries are becoming a bit too much too early on in the career. So something has to give. It's that he has to train, he has to change his training method, or he has to tweak something about his match planning. But he's too young, if you ask me, to be having this much injuries. But congratulations to Cam Nori, he's won. Let's see how he'll take up in Acapulco in Dubai.
All right, let's go on to La Liga. Barcelona wasted a golden opportunity to extend their lead at the top of the La Liga as they were shocked 1-0 at lowly Almeria on Sunday. And this is thanks to a first half strike by El Bilal Toure.
Yes, so Barcelona came back from that defeat against Manchester United. I know what they say. What you've done before, you will do it better the next time. It was, I would say this, they didn't play well. At least for most of it. Yes, their quality shone through. Yes, they created chances. Yes, they still look, with the quality they had in their side, they still looked like they could get a result. But it was them pushing so high up and forgetting to defend that left them exposed to concede that goal. And regardless of what they did later, one touch too many, one pass too long, or too wide or too high, and they just couldn't make it. It was more miserable because Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid had played the day before, and on the derby, you want to take advantage of what the derby results are. Now, Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid drew that match 1-0, so that meant Real Madrid, who is chasing Barcelona, had dropped 2 points. So what Barcelona needed to do was win against Almeria, and they would have extended the gap to 10 points. So they played before you. You had all the time to plan your game, to strategize, to try and apply table pressure. And they get into the match against Almeria and they lose. So really horrible week for Xavi Hernandez. I would say this though, a lot of the players were frustrated at each other because it seemed everybody was trying to make up for what happened in midweek, but at the end of the day they ended up making it worse for themselves and for their manager. So now the gap is, instead of expanding to 10, has closed down to 7. So it makes it even more interesting in the final weeks building up to the end of the La Liga season.
All right, do we want to take a message?
Let's see this message from Real One. He says,
wow. Real One says, good morning, Mrs. Shokwe Martins.
First of all, she's not a Mrs. Shokwe Martins. Secondly, this is Zibby.
Of them at 8:25 on Monday mornings. I am Shokwe. Just for a bit. All right. Real One says, congratulations to my darling Man United team. Ballon d'Or transfer winners. Wow. Can't beat any team right now. The only team they can beat right now is beat around the bush.
Oh my goodness.
Neumart, you're lethal.
Good night and God bless. On that note, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be talking about Chelsea and Manchester United, and we'll open the phone lines for you to make your phone calls. Did you see what he said? He said they can only beat around the bush.
Like, how are people so mean? Oh my days! Football brings out the worst. You know Charles, right? Charles had that sort.
Yeah.
Why are people always dragging Charles these days on Twitter?
She always says things that make love music.
But like,
he does it all the time.
Does he do it on purpose?
I don't think so. I think he's.
Okay,
we are gossiping. And you people are filming up. You will wait till the show is over. You will not hear it in Jesus' name. Want to hear our gossip.
Innovation, convenience,
And you can, oh, it's too short to wash my hands.
As in consistently drinking on Monday to Friday
Yeah,
and twice on
it's like
Sunday.
I used to at first. So in their mind, they're saying say something sensible. I think it's old school mind.
Oh my gosh. Like every time I see it, I'm always just laughing. I'm like, but I
Yeah.
think it's getting worse. Like everything he said, whether it's sports, whether it's politics,
Yeah.
anything.
Because sometimes it just riles you up.
But I never round up when I see it.
You just laugh and move on, abi?
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
most
but
normal
that's
people should do.
no. Because
Man,
people are invested.
man.
I don't know how angry people are. People are heavily invested. Somebody tweeted something yesterday, and I was so mad. I wanted to pluck out his head.
Look at his head.
I had to remind myself that Tega, you don't have power. So in case the person wants to escalate the fight,
Exactly.
they will beat you. So
Oh
be
my
coming down.
goodness, crazy stuff, man. You're in the locker room on Smooth 98.1. It's Tega and Zibby with you this morning. We're streaming the show live on YouTube. Catch the live stream, post a comment. Just search for Smooth 981. WhatsApp number to send your messages to 0809 440
Okay, so let's come back with a message and then we'll go into the next
Okay.
story.
This one is from Emeka, and Emeka says, for the sake of banter, Chelsea must not sack Graham Potter. If not, Wahala go day. Chelsea fans should be calming down. Another £500 million in the next transfer window, and they'll be back on top.
You know, and they'll be good. It's just small
Wow.
500 that they spent.
Enjoy the moment. Enjoy
Yeah,
the moment.
how much is that? It's not even enough money. All right.
Okay, so the winning mentality is, or at least it seems to be, back at Manchester United after a near 6-year trophy drought, and this is according to David here.
Yeah.
All right, so he says it's difficult to describe, and I'm so emotional because it's been so long without a trophy. It's the start for a new era.
Yes, so you could see the excitement as soon as they won the trophy, and I understand Eric Ten Hag's excitement. You know, he took a job; it was uncertain, and the first few weeks of when he started, it wasn't pretty because he came in and said, "Maguire is still my captain. I will still keep these people," and then the first game, they told him why you need to make some changes. You know, and then you add to the fact that there was that Cristiano Ronaldo saga, that even if he knew what he really wanted from his team, it doesn't matter what you know in your heart or how good your intentions are. If other people cannot see the results, you know, because nobody can read your heart, they have to see the results. If they can't see the results, then you come out to be the one losing. So everything, I understood exactly the pressure of Manchester United and why he had to celebrate the way he celebrated. Yes, his Carabao Cup is the League Cup, we agree, but it's a trophy.
Right.
and a trophy in his first season. So it was something he just needed to break the deadlock, something he needed to endear himself more to the Manchester United fan base. And so you could understand his celebration. And also players like Casemiro, you know, who made the choice to move from Real Madrid, the Champions League winning side, to come and play in Manchester United. People are just like, you too like money, oh. You know, those kind of things are vindication. Again, you can argue about the value or the quality of the cup. It is still a trophy. So I saw a lot of players that I enjoyed the celebration. I understood it completely. They had not been winning in a while, and this is a club that people are used to winning. All of a sudden, everywhere was dry. So the joy was, look, we found the right manager, we found the right results, we have the right confidence, and now we are getting trophies. I think it was beautiful to see. Everybody else that is yapping them, you're either an Arsenal fan or a Chelsea fan. We'll take your banter though, but you know, I understood the joy coming from them. What I would say though is Jose Mourinho did it first.
All right.
All of you that are bantering Jose Mourinho, but it was a brilliant one to watch. I'll say this for Newcastle though. With all the money they've gotten, and yes, they've been able to build momentum with the team they have, but they don't have a lethal or consistent striker. With that kind of money, you should be able to buy a striker. I'm not saying spend lavishly like Chelsea, but this is Saudi Arabia backed Newcastle team. It shouldn't look like the Newcastle of before. Joelinton cannot be your front man. Callum Wilson is not the guy. Almiron scores once every blue moon. So when there's no moon, no scoring. So I think for Newcastle, they have a good thing going, but they need to add some pieces. that will consistently bring them the results. Isaac too is not a prolific striker. So with that money you have, get a prolific striker, get a midfielder that can make passes and maybe just build from there. I'm not saying buy a whole squad, but add some good pieces to be able to push. Because right now, if you ask me, they don't look like they're going to finish in top four. And we'll get to that story about Tottenham soon. They don't look like they're going to finish in top four, and they haven't won the League Cup, which is where they made it to. So, for the side that they are, this is a good result. But with the ambitions that they have and with the backing that they have, I think they should be doing better and doing more in the market at least.
All right, Akin says, and this is on the YouTube stream, it is still a trophy. It's plastic, Jerry. Okay.
Okay, drop the name of your club if you are bold. All right, let's take the next story.
So Chelsea's Graham Porter says that he understands why fans are asking how much longer he would stay on the job after the latest loss on Sunday. But he said the contrasting fortunes of other top club bosses showed how quickly things could actually turn around. He said that's just the nature of football, and obviously I haven't done enough for this club to have too much good faith. I try to focus on keep helping the team, supporting the players because I really like these players. They're good lads. They want to do better. But at the moment, we're suffering, and that's my responsibility.
I'm glad you ended it with that's your responsibility. But he said there was going to be a quick turnaround. It's not quick. This turnaround is a marathon turnaround. It's taking its time to come, and that's where the problem is. You can give somebody some time, and maybe they get one or two results in between. I would say this, like Liverpool, they're struggling badly, but they had one or two results in between. They lose one, they win one here, they draw one here. They are in a very bad shape. Don't get me wrong. It's not a good place for them to be. They drew again this weekend against Crystal Palace. Not a good place for them to be. And there's also rumors that Mohamed Salah wants to leave, so that also adds to it. But there's something to cheer about once in a while. There's been nothing to cheer about in Chelsea, and it's been a while, so it's not a quick anything. It's not a quick turnaround. It's not a quick bounce back. It's not a quick stop. Nothing is happening there, and this is why people are asking questions that what you brought everything. At the end of the day, regardless of what you say about these players, the buck stops at the desk of the manager. And yes, you may say it's your responsibility, but the question now is, the fans are asking is, oh yeah, owner, can you sack him sometime this week so that we will start to build again, because it doesn't look like he's going to get anywhere. But going to the match on Sunday, it was Tottenham playing against Chelsea. Tottenham really needing their win. They're pushing for top four. They have now created a gap between them and Newcastle. And even if Newcastle has games in hand, like I always say, we count only points on the board. And they were pushing for the win to themselves, and they got two brilliant goals eventually. But there was one incident that happened during the match, and that's where we are going to open the phone lines to discuss. It is the red card that came to ZH that was rescinded.
014489981.
Should that red card have stood, and why? So the numbers to call are
014489981.
Tell me what you think. Hakim Ziyech got a red card. The referee goes to look at VAR, changes his mind. So the question is, should that red card have stood? We're waiting for your calls, or while we're waiting for your calls, let's take some messages from WhatsApp. Yeah.
All right, Cruz says, Zibby, some people just like banter, whether it makes sense or not. They enjoy disturbing Tega too. And yes, we're on YouTube for the Tatafo.
Yes, people like Tatafo.
Okay, let's move on to the next one. Shegun from Ikorodu.
Oh, sorry.
Yes. Shegun says, glory, glory, Man United. The dry bone has risen again. 3 more to go. We hear you.
Real one says,
Mrs. Zibby and Tega. This one that Agunbiade is dashing us Mrs. titles.
I'm telling you.
Okay. As it pain them, it is sweet us. Imagine COVID-19 PL winners saying Van Dijk is better than Vidic. Liverpool will make it to the Conference League. As for Chelsea, they are consistent. 10th. What a team.
All right. Mayowa from Bagada says, even if Chelsea players see several shrinks, they may not get any results until Potter steps out.
Potter out.
I feel severe pity for Chelsea. So sad to have a rival look so ordinary. Wow. Tayo says,
Kai Havertz can foul Richarlison at the stroke of halftime but can't score a goal. That one is impossible. Okay. By this time, Roman would have sacked Potter 12 times over. I don't know which is poor, the elections or Chelsea's performance. Chelsea scored only one goal in February. Ten Hag has shown everyone you don't need 600 million and 3 years of waiting to get results. I heard Chelsea are working on a lounge, perhaps to sit down and watch more L's. I don't think Potter was this bad at Brighton.
Yeah, I don't think he was this bad at Brighton too. And Mohammed says, Tega, Newcastle management are sensible. Arabs, Russian get some sense, but you see Americans no get sense. Oh wow. Sorry, I shouldn't have read that message. Dapolawal says,
Tega, you are wrong. A lot is happening to Chelsea. They are not winning and they have spent a lot of money.
I don't know how I'm wrong.
I thought that was what you said.
I don't know what that was. Shegu from Ikorodu says,
Chelsea fans, please hold on. Potter will come good because it takes time to mold great. Finishing 10th or below ain't bad, right? Now you're being snarky.
Now you're being snarky. All right, so want to know what do you think was supposed to be the decision? What was your thoughts on the decision that of Hakim Ziyech's red card being rescinded? Should it have stood or should they have changed it? Let's take some messages from YouTube.
All right. LK Aderba says, I'm tired of speaking of Chelsea. If they don't sack Porter, I'm done. Charles Chidozie says, the chairman of all Arsenal fans, Piers Morgan, is still bantering United on Twitter. We're just looking at him with a side eye if Arsenal eventually loses this league. LK says, contracts to João Felix on winning goal of the month for February. He scored the only goal Chelsea scored in February.
Wow. I guess that's why they paid so much for him. All right, so let's take the PSG news while we wait on some more messages.
All right, World Cup foes Lionel Messi and Kylian Mbappe inspired PSG to a 3-0 win at bitter rivals Olympique de Marseille on Sunday to extend their League One lead to 8 points. PSG centre-back Sergio Ramos says, we were aggressive, we put intensity into the game. That's what we've been missing.
Yeah, that's what they've been missing in the past few games. And maybe people were tired. But I think the rivalry was what helped it because Marseille came on the pitch, especially after they had beaten them in the cup. They came on the pitch with that attitude of, with all your world stars, we're going to beat you. I think that was where the aggression came out from. I think they were angry.
Right.
They're like, my salary is 3 times yours. How dare you? But it was a beautiful way that both of them connected. Neymar still out with the ligament injury, but the combination though between Messi and Mbappe was brilliant on the night. The 2 goals Mbappe scored were Messi assists, and then the goal that Messi scored was Mbappe, and Mbappe assist is just for good measure. Kipembe though picked up an injury. We hope he'll be all right for the Bayern Munich game, because for me, truth be told, what I want to see in that second leg is both teams, in that second leg of the UEFA Champions League, is both teams come out with their strength so that I can enjoy a football match. With the first leg, there was Mbappe just returning from injury, Messi struggling with his own muscle injury. It didn't look like both teams were balanced. But now, going into next week's Champions League, it looks like both teams are getting into the right place. Yes, I'm not sure Neymar will be back, but I think I'd like to see Bayern Munich in their full flow. They won their match against Union Berlin over the weekend by 3-0. And Sadio Mane is back, so that makes it even more interesting. So I'd like to see that full Bayern Munich squad taking on the full PSG squad in their strength. And let's see how beautiful the football will be. Yeah.
All right, now let's still on to Chelsea, but the other side of Chelsea. Chelsea boss Emma Hayes hails best in the business striker after a goal in the 100th game.
Yes, so Sam Kerr has played 100 games for Chelsea Women's Football Club, and she scored 82 goals in that 100 games.
Wow.
I think people need her up front. Just swap her with Kai Havertz, and let's see if the goals will come. But yeah, Arsenal women met Chelsea women in the FA Cup, and Chelsea women won by 2-0. Sam Kerr scoring that goal. What made Sam Kerr's goal even more impressive was that she just returned from Australia, where she went to play a couple of games for the national team. So you'd expect that she'd be jet lagged, she'd be tired, but no. She returned, shook it off, came on the pitch, and still scored for good measure. So one derby, the men lost. The other derby, the women won.
Life.
All right, so we take one last story. It's just about Arsenal staying at the top of the tree. Yeah.
All right, so Inter Milan have suffered a damaging 1-0 defeat at Bologna. This happened yesterday and has, at the moment, virtually ended their slim hopes of winning the Serie A
Yes,
title.
the hope was slim. It was slimmer than me when I was weighing 48 kg.
How old are you then? 10?
Then, no, I was actually in university. Don't start. Then they now come and lose again. Now you have to remember that Napoli won the game against Empoli to stretch that gap to 18 points already. So if Inter Milan had won, it's not like they would stop Napoli from winning the Scudetto, but they would just dent it a little bit, just hold out a little bit. But no, they go to lose. They played. Don't get me wrong, but they've lost to Bologna. They lost to Bologna this season. It's like the club that they like to lose to. It's like their coach used to play for Inter Milan for a couple of seasons, so I think he still has their blueprints. And so he has the way he would defeat them. So Inter Milan had struggled, they had created chances, they played a good game, they just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. Orsolini gets one chance, puts the ball in the back of the net. Bologna won, Inter Milan nil, and that's how the match ended. So yes, as it is, Inter Milan are second on the table, but they are 18 whole points behind Napoli. So the question is, when are we going to crown Napoli champion? So that we'll just end this.
Let's end it, right?
Going to our house. All right. So on that note, we want to end with one message from
Agunbiade, and he says, for Ziyech's red card, let's just pretend that it didn't happen. Even with 11 men, they can't score. Wow.
And that's it on the show. Even with 11 men, Chelsea can score. I didn't say it. It was real one that said it. All right. Do have a good week, and we'll come back here on Wednesday to talk more about sports. Zibby, your show.
Yes, indeed. Do stay with us. There's a lot more to come on the Smooth Breakfast.